Archangel Michael revealed a family betrayal in an emergency dream. What he showed me will change how you see them forever. Last night, on May 25th, at precisely 3:03 a.m., the veil between heaven and earth was pierced. It was not just a dream. It was a divine interruption, an emergency message carried on wings of light, delivered with urgency and fire. Archangel Michael, the warrior of the Most High, descended through the corridors of night and entered the chamber of dreams. He did not knock. He did not wait. He entered with command. He entered with revelation. And he came carrying a truth so heavy, so cutting, that it would shatter illusions, break spiritual chains, and expose the hidden betrayals buried beneath familiar smiles. This is not for everyone. No, this word is not scattered to the winds like casual prophecy. This message is marked. This message is sealed. This message is for the betrayed one reading now, the one whose spirit has been whispering for years, something is wrong. The one who felt the shift before they ever had the facts. The one who swallowed suspicion because love made them blind. To you, Michael says, be still. Say nothing. I am the sword, and I have come. When I awoke, my heart was racing, my body soaked in sweat. It was as if fire had been poured into my chest. I tried to speak, but the words lodged in my throat like stone. And I heard him. Michael, the commander of heaven's armies. His voice was not loud, but it thundered in my soul. Do not speak until I deliver this. He showed me your family, but not as you know them. He showed me eyes behind smiles. He showed me laughter layered with intention. He showed me embraces that hid weapons. And then he said something I will never forget. You trusted what they performed, but I will reveal what they planned. He did not come to soothe. He came to separate. He came to strip the mask. He came to confirm what your spirit already sensed but your heart tried to deny. This is not punishment. This is positioning. Heaven is intervening. The delay is over. The veil is lifted. The masquerade ends now. By the time you finish hearing this, the illusion will be broken. Drevu. Type I receive truth in the comments if this opening speaks to you. Blessing code 333 is now activated. Archangel Michael speaks. He does not whisper. He does not suggest. He declares. And this is what he declares over you. In the next 24 hours, truth will begin to surface. In the next 24 hours, masks will slip. In the next 24 hours, what has been hidden in plain sight will no longer have the power to deceive. This is not a general message. This is not a word for the casual. This is not for the curious. This is not for the skeptic. This is for you. The one who has been spiritually awake but emotionally entangled. The one who has been loyal to the wrong people. The one who has kept peace at the expense of truth. To you, Michael has been dispatched. The dream came suddenly, shadows curling around closed doors. There was a hallway that led nowhere. A name was whispered but not spoken. You felt this before. That eerie, anxious edge in the spirit when something is off but everyone smiles like it's fine. That feeling that enters the room just before betrayal steps in. You know it. You've lived it. You've breathed in the tension at family gatherings and exhaled confusion when the cold shoulder had no cause. And Michael says, you felt the shift before you understood it. This is the hour of confirmation. This is the moment of unmasking. You do not need to confront anyone. You do not need to expose them. Heaven will do what you could not. Archangel Michael says, do not react. Do not respond. Do not reveal that you know. Say nothing until I finish what I started. Obedience is your safety now. There is an urgency in the spirit. There is a burning countdown in the invisible realm. The dream was not a suggestion. It was a spiritual summons. You've been called into awareness. The doors you once knocked on with hope are being sealed. The invitations you once accepted with love are being revoked in the spirit. Michael comes with his sword drawn, not for war with flesh, but to cut through the fog of illusion. This is the separation of soul ties and spirit truth. This is the awakening of discernment that was once dulled by attachment. This is the moment the divine says, "You have mourned long enough. Now, rise and perceive." Heaven is not behind them. Heaven is ahead of them. And you are being invited to step out from among them. You are not being abandoned. You are being extracted. This is not paranoia. This is prophetic precision. Those doors in the dream weren't just doors. They were revelations. Every shadow that passed by was a reflection of conversation spoken in your absence. Every whisper was confirmation that something inside them never celebrated you, only tolerated you. Archangel Michael says, they fear what you carry. They fear what you will become when you stop needing their approval. They fear what happens when you remember who you are. And now you do. And now you must stand. Not loudly, not defiantly, but divinely. Let the truth rise silently like dawn over a dark field. The betrayal you felt was not a wound. It was a warning. The heaviness in your chest wasn't anxiety. It was the spirit of truth pressing through your discernment. Michael has walked into the dream realm to confirm what your intuition has cried out for. And now, he is no longer hidden. Say nothing. Not yet. But know this, what is revealed cannot be reversed. What heaven has shown you cannot be unseen. The mask is off. The illusion is broken. You are not the fool they thought you were. The countdown has begun. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this warning. Blessing code 777 surrounds you now. The table was long. Familiar faces were seated. They laughed. They passed bread. They clinked glasses. But one wore a mask. One among them was not what they appeared to be. And you knew it. Deep in your spirit. You felt it. Something in that dream wasn't right. The table in your dream was more than a scene. It was a revelation. Each plate represented a memory, a moment, a bond you trusted. But the one with the mask, it was the one sent to test you. That was the one whose loyalty was feigned, whose love was conditional, whose presence was strategic. And suddenly, everything you brushed off, the sarcasm, the passive comments, the disapproving glances, started to make sense. You remember the moments they would quiet when you walked in. You recall the strange alliances that formed when you were at your lowest. The ones who called it concern but added to your confusion. You remember. You always knew something was off. You always felt the dissonance, but you silenced it in the name of peace. But peace built on pretense is not peace at all. Archangel Michael revealed triangulation, conversations that excluded you, decisions made about you, silence used as punishment. This was not a misunderstanding. This was strategy. This was spiritual. And now, heaven is revealing what your heart tried to forgive before it fully understood. Some are not family by heart, only by blood. And blood alone is not the covenant heaven honors. Michael says, I honor what reflects my image, not what shares your last name. They knew your power. They felt your presence. They sensed your assignment. And they hoped, quietly, desperately, that you'd never wake up to it. because your awakening meant their control ended. The dream was the moment heaven decided you'd be lied to no longer. The dream was a mercy. It disrupted your denial. It dismantled the fantasy. It delivered the evidence. And now you must ask, who truly stood by me, and who stood to gain? They loved your silence. They enjoyed your uncertainty. I benefited from your second guessing. But those days are over. The mask has been removed. The spiritual cameras have caught what your heart tried to dismiss. You are not bitter. You are aware. You are not vengeful. You are aligned. You are not broken. You are becoming. Let the tears fall. Let the truth sit. Let the mask drop. This is your awakening. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe for more prophetic guidance and urgent spiritual messages. Your journey deserves clarity, and we're here to walk with you. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1516 is now activated. You were never just dealing with people. You were wrestling with principalities that wore familiar faces. You were navigating atmospheres charged with generational patterns, spiritual bondage, and unseen sabotage. What happened in your family was never just about emotions. It was spiritual warfare disguised in tradition. The betrayal you endured did not begin with an argument or a misunderstanding. It began when your light started exposing their shadows. From the moment you stepped into self-awareness, from the instant you stopped apologizing for your discernment, the resistance began. Subtle at first, eye rolls, dismissive tones, conversations that left you questioning your worth. Then more direct accusations, deflections, and the weaponization of your past. But behind it all, something deeper was at play. This was not just conflict. It was sabotage. Silent sabotage. Strategic sabotage. Designed not to destroy you physically, but to delay you spiritually. Michael reveals it clearly. Your calling provoked their comfort. Your anointing irritated their apathy. You thought you were just trying to love them, but in truth, your obedience was agitating the spirits they refused to confront. And so they attacked in silence. They undermined through suggestion. They masked envy with concern. They covered competition with compassion. They smiled through the plot. But heaven saw it all. This is the hour of spiritual framing, where God rewrites what you once saw as emotional pain into prophetic purpose. You were not rejected, you were preserved. You were not left out, you were kept out. Because what they could not destroy with words, they attempted to contain with relationship. But no more. No longer will you be bound to dysfunction by the illusion of duty. No longer will you equate family loyalty with spiritual compromise. You were chosen. Not just in title, but in battle. You are the first to break what broke your ancestors. You are the first to interrupt the cycles that fed on silence. You are the first to feel the pull toward destiny and still answer it, even when it meant walking alone. The dream was your release paper. Michael descended to make it official in the spirit. You owe them nothing but forgiveness. Not your time. Not your energy. Not your explanation. Because this conflict was never about hate. It was about heritage. You carry something they were never willing to sacrifice for. You possess an obedience they never chose. You walk with a fire they never honored. And the enemy knew. He saw the moment your eyes opened. He saw the prayers you whispered through the tears. He watched you resist retaliation when everything inside you screamed for justice. That resistance wasn't weakness. It was spiritual strength. And now heaven is responding. This dream did not come to give you more pain. It came to reveal your purpose. Heaven had to allow it, because elevation requires exposure. And before God takes you higher, He will not allow you to carry betrayal in your heart or burden on your back. He's severing it now. He's pulling back the curtain. So hear this. React in flesh and you empower them. Move in spirit and you disarm them. The more silent you become in the natural, the louder your obedience speaks in the spirit. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to prove your side. Let heaven vindicate. Let Michael defend. Let the Spirit confirm. And know this truth. What was meant to suppress you is being used to send you. Type I am the first to break IT in the comments if this truth speaks to your soul. Blessing code 444 is now encircling your lineage. Within 72 hours, the spirit realm will shift, and so will the natural. Watch carefully. Listen with your soul. Because what was once disguised will now become deliberate. The ones who smiled while speaking against you will start to shift in energy. The ones who acted indifferent will begin to press into your space. And Michael warns, do not confuse the shift with repentance. Many will move, but not all are being moved by God. There will be a confrontation. Maybe it won't come as a fight. Maybe it will arrive as a guilt trip. A "we've missed you" text. A sudden memory brought up to reconnect. It will look soft. It will feel warm. But it is a test. A test of your new discernment. A test of your alignment. A test of your silence. And Michael says, don't fall for the distraction disguised as concern. The dream gave you a clue. A locked room, dimly lit, with one solitary key resting in your palm. That key wasn't just symbolic. That key was spiritual ownership. The authority to exit. The authority to close access. The authority to say no. Not from anger. Not from rebellion. But from wisdom. You hold it now. They cannot enter unless you invite them. They cannot accuse unless you engage. They cannot delay unless you return. And in the vision, there was more. A family gathering. Laughter. Familiarity. Then a sudden shift. The air grew heavy. The light dimmed. And you were the only one who noticed. That wasn't paranoia. That was presence. The Holy Spirit unveiling what you've been trained to overlook. The tension wasn't imagined. It was prophetic discomfort. Your body responding to spiritual warfare in the atmosphere. And then came the turning point. Confusion tried to settle. Fear crept in. You were questioning your own discernment. Until sudden divine clarity shattered the scene. The voice of Michael rang out. Do not respond with words. Let your absence echo louder. Your power is not in reaction. Your authority is in restraint. Every time you remain silent when provoked, heaven records it as strength. Every time you withhold access, you build a wall against demonic interference. This is not avoidance. It is alignment. You are not ghosting people. You are guarding purpose. Someone will reach out. Someone will press for answers. But you must remember, clarity is your compass now, not connection. Some connections cannot be healed until heaven completes its work in them. And if you re-enter too soon, you'll sabotage what God is healing. Let them wonder why you fell silent. Let them question the sudden distance. You owe no explanation when heaven is your handler. God is preparing a moment where your silence will speak louder than any confrontation. And Michael is already stationed at the gate. Type "I will not return to what broke me" in the comments. Blessing code 812 is now active around your decision. Be still. Not because you're weak. Not because you have nothing to say. Be still because Archangel Michael is already in position. The warfare that surrounds your family right now is not yours to fight. It belongs to heaven. The weapons formed against you are real, but they will not prosper, because the commander of heaven's hosts has drawn his sword and encamped around you. You must enter spiritual silence now. Not the silence of confusion or fear, but the silence of strategy. The silence of spiritual obedience. This is not passivity, this is prophetic. Every word you do not speak is a strike against the enemy's plan. Every conversation you withhold is a step out of their trap. You are not retreating, you are repositioning. This silence is your sanctuary. Michael is not merely guarding you, he is circling you. With fire, with angels, with divine intelligence. What was once hidden from your view is now being exposed by heavenly surveillance. Your silence gives heaven permission to work without interference. Your silence says, "I trust the process. I believe in the justice of the kingdom. I release my need to defend and instead receive divine defense." Heaven is calling you to fast. Not just from food, but from familiarity. Fast from the opinions that once shaped you. Fast from the patterns that kept you bound. Fast from spaces where your worth was debated. Enter the upper room of clarity. You do not need to respond to invitations disguised as reconciliation. You do not need to explain your transformation to those who only tolerated your brokenness. Begin now. Whisper these words over your spirit. I am seen by heaven. I am protected by light. I am guarded by the sword of the Most High. Withdraw. Not out of pain. Not out of offense. But out of clarity. You are not hiding. You are hearing. You are listening for instructions only the obedient can perceive. Familiarity has blinded you. Constant proximity has dulled your discernment. So now, step away. Make room for the echo of heaven. Let them wonder. Let the conversations happen without you. Let the gatherings proceed in your absence. You are not being left behind. You are being elevated beyond. The higher you go, the smaller the crowd becomes. You are not forsaken. You are filtered. Not everyone was meant to walk this mountain with you. Let heaven witness the injustice. Let justice walk in unseen. The Spirit of God is recording every moment they laughed when you wept. Every lie told behind your back. Every ounce of manipulation laced with concern. Michael has gathered evidence, and the judgment is being written in light. Understand this. Silence is not surrender. It is sacred strategy. You've been trained to think you must fight to prove your worth. But heaven fights for those who sit in submission. Not submission to people, but to purpose. You are being cloaked now. In light. In clarity. In armor not made by man. Do not speak prematurely. Do not defend prematurely. Let every accusation fall empty. Let every manipulation lose its grip. Your stillness is your slingshot. Your silence is your ascension. And while you rest, heaven will roar. While you sleep, angels will secure. While you fast, strongholds will fall. You are not alone. You are surrounded. And you are not breaking, you are becoming. Type "I am guarded by light" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 505 has now activated a new shield over your mind and your mission. You are not who they once underestimated. You are not who they last manipulated. You are not the fragile, confused soul they tried to label. The shift has occurred, and heaven is declaring this over you now. You have become dangerous to darkness. The chains have been broken. The mask has fallen. And now, the ashes of your betrayal are being blown into a prophetic fire. You are the phoenix, rising not from defeat, but from divine delay. Your wings are spreading. The heat behind you is not from hell, it's from heaven pushing you forward. The wind at your back is not circumstance, it's the breath of the Almighty calling you upward. Archangel Michael reveals the betrayal with a catalyst. They buried you in silence, hoping your soul would suffocate under shame. But they forgot. You were not seedless. You were planted. Buried in darkness, yes. Covered in silence, yes. But watered by tears. And tears in the kingdom are not wasted. They are ingredients for resurrection. You are no longer asking for a seat at tables you were born to flip. You are no longer shrinking to make others comfortable. You are no longer apologizing for a light they refused to understand. They gave you names: rebellious, dramatic, emotional, sensitive. But heaven gives you one name now: anointed. You do not have to earn back your voice. You never lost it. You do not need to reclaim your identity. It was never theirs to define. The false identities they placed on you, Michael has shattered them. You are not the black sheep. You are the breaker. You are not the outcast. You are the opening. You are not the misunderstood. You are the mantle carrier. Your silence is your sword now. Your peace is your shield. When you walk into the room, you are not entering unnoticed. You are entering as a divine disruption to every lie they believed about you. You will not justify your absence. You will not defend your growth. You will not mourn what heaven has removed. Hear this clearly. From this moment forward, you rise. Not later. Not someday. Now. No more rehearsing what they said. No more negotiating with guilt. No more pretending you don't see it. This is your emergence. And when you rise, the earth responds. Heaven applauds. Hell trembles. Every demon that conspired against your identity now flees in confusion. Because you remembered. You remembered who you are. They don't need to see it for it to be real. They don't need to approve it for it to be activated. You are who God says you are. Not because of validation, but because of divine verification. You are the fire they thought would consume you. You are the sword they never saw coming. You are the echo of every prayer your ancestors prayed in agony. You are the end of what destroyed your bloodline, and the beginning of what redeems it. So rise, not with pride, but with power, not with vengeance, but with vision. If this message resonates with your spirit, consider showing your support through a super thanks. Your $10 gift helps us deliver more bold, life-shifting prophetic content that reaches those who need it most. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another prophetic release or divine revelation. Your growth, healing, and elevation matter, and we're here for every step. Type "I am rising" now in the comments. Blessing code 1919 is igniting your atmosphere with holy fire. There are moments when the veil between heaven and earth grows thin, moments when the Spirit doesn't just whisper, but roars. This is that moment for you. What Archangel Michael revealed in the dream was not just a warning, it was a prophetic unveiling. It was divine intelligence passed to you in the night while the rest of the world slept. It was not for the many. It was for the marked. The betrayal had to happen. They had to. Not because God delights in your pain, but because heaven refuses to let you be surrounded by what secretly suppresses you. The dream wasn't just exposing individuals. It was unlocking dimensions. There was a door. Do you remember it? It was marked with one word, next. And you saw it. It was Warden. But just before you touched the handle, a shadow stepped in front of it. A face. Familiar. Loved you. Trusted. A family member. And suddenly, the door disappeared. Michael revealed what most will never see, that the door to your next level was blocked. Not by a stranger, not by an enemy, but by someone who claimed to love you. They didn't resist you. They resisted God in you. Your obedience irritated the rebellion they never surrender. Your purity convicted what they refused to confront. And though they smiled, though they said they were proud, in the spirit they pulled down every opportunity, whispered every doubt, and hoped your growth would stall. But it didn't. Because heaven saw. Heaven waited. And then heaven moved. The dream was confirmation that you've passed the test. You endured the delay, but you didn't derail. You resisted the urge to clap back. You surrendered your pain in prayer, and heaven noted it. Your name was spoken in a room of fire. Angels recorded it. The Spirit approved it. And now Michael declares, your obedience has qualified you for what's next. This was never just about family dynamics. This was spiritual alignment. You've been asking God why things shifted, why the love feels hollow, why the connection feels contaminated. And now you know. Because they never accepted the call on your life. They accepted the version of you that still needed them. But the version that rose, the version that healed, the version that stopped asking permission, that version became a threat. So heaven stripped the blindfold. The dream peeled back the veil. What looked like loss was a divine transfer. Every closed door was God's hand in disguise. Every distancing was divine insulation. The betrayal wasn't punishment, it was protection. The illusion had to break so that identity could be built. You are not who they said you were. You are not the fragile one. You are not the extra one. You are not the unstable one. You are the anointed one, chosen for impact, sealed for purpose. And now, the vision is shifting. God is preparing a divine appointment in secret. While you grieve what fell apart, heaven is constructing what you will walk into. While they talk about what left, God is planning what's about to land. It's not just restoration. It's divine reversal. It's not just compensation. It's prophetic positioning. They saw a fracture, but God saw a finish line. You endured without applause. You pressed forward without permission. And now, reward is being released. The door marked next is opening again. But this time, no shadow stands in front of it. Because heaven has cleared the threshold. What blocked you before will bow this time. What resisted your name will now release it. What tried to delay you will have to witness you. Type I am ready for next in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 108 is opening doors no man can shut. Now is not the time to pause. Now is not the moment to hesitate. You've heard. You've seen. You've been awakened. And now, heaven demands movement. Destiny doesn't respond to delay. It responds to obedience. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, declaring, choose your assignment over attachment. Choose purpose over presence. Choose a vision over emotion. You must speak it aloud. You must decree it in the atmosphere. I choose my assignment. Not because it's easy. Not because it's painless. But because it's worth it. Because the time has come to stop protecting the familiar and start advancing the divine. You were born to be different. You were born to carry weight. And with that weight comes responsibility. This isn't just a calling, it's a commission. You were sent to break patterns, not repeat them. You were born to confront the altars of dysfunction that kept your bloodline circling the same mountains. You were born to build where others only survive. Say yes. Say yes even when your voice trembles. Say yes even if no one claps. Say yes even when memories try to seduce you back. Say yes, and let heaven echo. Michael is preparing the path, but heaven won't force your feet. You must walk. You must move. You must act. The alignment will meet you in motion. The resources will come when you obey. The clarity will increase with each step. But heaven will not activate what you won't initiate. Your identity has shifted. Your lifestyle must follow. You can no longer pray like you used to. You can no longer think like you used to. You can no longer surround yourself with what only serves your weakness. This level demands separation. This level requires sanctification. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be positioned. Declare your purpose boldly. I was born to break patterns and build altars. I was born to shift atmospheres. I was born to leave a legacy of freedom. Let that truth burn within you until fear flees. There is urgency now. You have 48 hours to make the first move. Heaven is watching not for emotion but for motion. Write the vision. Fast. Step away from those who delay you. Make the call that ends the cycle. Cut the tie that drains you. Say the prayer that seals your yes. This isn't just your moment. This is your mandate. And the heavens are recording it. Michael says, you do not walk alone. The scroll of your life is unrolling. The chapter of bondage is over. The chapter of becoming begins. Walk into it. Speak into it. Step into it. The betrayal with the initiation. The dream with the announcement. This choice is the activation. Type I choose purpose over attachment in the comments if you feel the fire in this. Blessing code 2121 is unlocking divine acceleration over your assignment. While your body slept and your eyes were closed, the spirit realm was wide awake. What you thought was just a dream was not a dream at all. It was a courtroom. It was a covenant. It was a contract written by fire and sealed in divine ink. You didn't just dream about betrayal. You witnessed heaven's response to it. You were not merely observing. You were included. There was a silent exchange happening, and your name was on the scroll. In the silence of that night, while tears fell on your pillow and questions flooded your soul, heaven was moving. What was lost generationally, honor, legacy, clarity, inheritance, was being restored spiritually. And it wasn't by your effort. It wasn't by your force. It was by your obedience. Your surrender with the offering. Your stillness with the key. Michael reveals that while you wept in the natural, angels were documenting every injustice in the supernatural. Each accusation, each misjudgment, each manipulation, they were being written into the record, not as evidence against you, but as evidence for you. Heaven was preparing a reversal, a spiritual transfer, and you had to be asleep because if you were conscious, you would have tried to fix it with your flesh. But heaven said, rest. I'm rewriting what they tried to reroute. There were altars raised against you, word curses sent through jealousy, agreements made in private against your movement. But while they were plotting, ancestors aligned with light were interceding. Those who ran their race before you, those who tried and failed to break free, were now standing in heaven as witnesses. Their blood cried out for justice. Their legacy cried out for one who would finally rise above it. You are that one. The restlessness you felt wasn't random. A spiritual discomfort wasn't confusion. It was recognition. Your spirit knew the betrayal before your mind ever caught up. That's why you couldn't explain it, but you felt it. That's why you smiled at the table but felt sick afterward. That's why certain hugs drained you instead of healing you. Your body was responding to spiritual sabotage. But now that sabotage hath been stopped, Michael shows your name, surrounded by flame. Not fire to burn you, but fire to guard you. You are encircled. Heaven has placed a perimeter around your destiny. No more unauthorized access. No more spiritual trespassing. The doors they used to reach you have been sealed. The portals they whispered through have been shut. Your name is now off limits to every familiar spirit that once fed on your trust. What they tried to steal, your peace, your favor, your opportunities, is being returned. But not just returned, multiplied. Because in heaven's economy, restitution is not 1:1. Restitution is exponential. When you suffer for righteousness, the return comes pressed down, shaken together, running over. And it's coming now. You didn't lose your position in the family. You were repositioned by heaven. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection. What you thought was loss with protection. The silence of God wasn't abandonment. It was construction. Heaven was working on something too holy for noise. Do not mourn what you thought you missed. Do not grieve the seat they never offered you. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to interrupt. And now, the spirit realm knows it. Now, your angels are moving with authority. Now, the verdict has been read. You are free. You are cleared. You are commissioned. Type "the contract is broken" in the comments if you feel this truth resonating deep within. Blessing code 1717 is now sealing the legal spiritual reversal over your life. Divine justice is not delayed. It is strategic. It is precise. And now, it is activated. What was hidden in plain sight is being exposed. The whisperings behind your back, the looks exchanged when you entered the room, the silence that screamed louder than words, heaven saw it all. And heaven took it personally. Michael now moves with a sword of reversal. A sword forged in heaven's fire, dripping with the oil of vindication. He stands at the gates of your destiny not as a protector of your past, but as a guard of your future. And he declares, the tables are turning. Watch closely. You were the topic of ridicule. Now, you will be the testimony of restoration. Every curse spoken in jealousy is being reversed into elevation. Every lie constructed to sabotage your name is now exposing the mounds it came from. What they thought they buried you in, shame, gossip, silence, is now the ground from which your anointing is erupting. You will not merely recover. You will reign. Not in arrogance, but in authenticity. Not in pride, but in power. God is elevating you publicly in front of those who doubted you privately. The ones who mocked your dreams will now watch them manifest. The ones who dismissed your voice will now need your wisdom. The ones who sat at tables to plot your delay will now see you lead the table. Michael confirms, spiritual restitution is already in motion. Not just a return of what was lost, but a multiplication of what was withheld. Relationships that drained you will be replaced with divine alignments. Doors that slammed in your face will now beg to be opened to your presence. The honor that was stolen is being restored with interest. God is revealing the true motives. You will see it clearly now. The masks are falling. The performances are ending. And heaven is giving you the gift of clarity. You'll no longer question who stands with you. You know. You'll no longer chase answers. They'll appear without you asking. They laughed while you healed. They mocked while you matured. But now, heaven is responding. You were patient. You were obedient. And now, the harvest has arrived. Spiritual justice does not look like revenge. It looks like rising without retaliation. You won't need to clap back. You won't need to explain. Your glow will speak. Your peace will speak. Your fruit will speak. And Michael says, you will be honored in front of every eye that once looked down on you. You will be vindicated without uttering a single word. God is turning your name into a monument of grace. And everyone who handled you with arrogance will now be humbled by your elevation. You won't need to announce it. You'll walk into it. And it will be undeniable. If this word confirms what your soul already knew, consider a super thanks of $50 to support the release of more life-altering prophetic messages. Every gift helps us go deeper and reach further. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe now and don't miss the divine updates that come straight from the throne to your screen. This is your hour of justice, and heaven is not silent anymore. Type "I am walking into reversal" in the comments. Lesson code 3030 is now establishing a full circle anointing over your life. Hear this now, beloved one. Everything you've walked through, every tear you shed in silence, every confusion that wrapped around your mind like fog, every unanswered question buried beneath family loyalty, it was not wasted. It was not punishment. It was preparation. You were not being broken down. You were being broken open. The betrayal didn't kill your destiny. It qualified it. You are not the same as you were before the dream. You are not the same as you were before Michael came. Something has shifted. You feel it. You know it. The spiritual air around you is charged. The illusions are gone. The fog has lifted. And the power within you is rising like a holy tide. This was more than revelation. It was redemption. God has seen you. God has chosen you. And heaven is now positioning you. The betrayals that should have buried you are the very ones that God is using to build you. You are stepping into a season where the evidence of divine favor will outweigh the memory of human betrayal. Archangel Michael speaks now with fire in his voice and gentleness in his tone. You are seen. You are sealed. And you are set apart for such a time as this. May peace crown you. Not the false peace that comes from avoidance, but the real peace that flows from clarity. May truth guide you. Not partial truth, not filtered truth, but the kind of truth that sets generations free. You are the shift your bloodline had been praying for. You are the bridge between bondage and blessing. You are the one who walks away from the fire, not burned, but born again in purpose. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Let them remember your silence. You will not have to explain yourself, because heaven has already announced you. The fruit of your life will speak louder than any accusation. The outcome of your obedience will silence every assumption. You are covered. You are called. and you are no longer for everyone. This is your final charge. Walk in silence, covered by light. Speak only when the Spirit gives utterance. Move only when the Spirit leads. The next chapter of your life won't be defined by who accepts you, but by who sent you. They will know who you are, not by the fight, but by the fruit. Type "I am walking in light" in the comments to receive this final word. Blessing code 888 is now crowning you in spiritual peace and divine protection. Subscribe now to continue receiving sacred downloads, prophetic direction, and messages that awaken your purpose. This is just the beginning. You are not broken. You are not betrayed. You are becoming. Amen.